Hey, I get it, you're scrolling through countless pool tables and thinking, do I really want to drop a bunch of cash on something that might never fit in my apartment or that won't actually feel right when I'm trying to sink a 9-ball? That hesitation is real, especially when space is at a premium and you've probably seen a few too expensive designer tables that end up as decorative furniture rather than a functional game spot. If you're wondering whether the Barrington Billiards 7-foot urban bar-size drop pocket pool table is the kind of investment that actually pays off for your living room, man cave, or even a tight-fit basement lounge, keep listening. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why size matters. A 7-foot table is essentially a home-friendly size that gives you a respectable playing surface without demanding a full-sized 9-foot haul. For most casual players, that 7-foot footprint translates to a game that feels close enough to a barroom experience while still being practical for a typical 1,215-foot room. The Barrington model claims standard size, and that's a good starting point. The playing surface measures 3,978 inches, which matches the dimensions of many public venue tables you'd see in a local bar, just scaled down a bit. In real life, that means you can practice angle shots and position play without having to sacrifice too much floor space. Now, who should consider this table? If you're a social player, someone who enjoys a quick game after work, hosts occasional tournaments for friends, or just wants a centerpiece that encourages conversation, this table fits nicely. The Urban Bar branding isn't just a marketing gimmick, it's aimed at apartments, lofts, and smaller homes where a full-size table would feel intrusive. The drop pocket design is also a subtle nod to barroom-style tables, where pockets are slightly recessed, making it easier to retrieve balls when you're playing on a tight schedule or with younger kids who might get a little too enthusiastic with the cue. On the flip side, if you're a competitive player who spends hours perfecting spin, speed, and precision on a professional-grade slate, you might find the 7-foot surface a bit limiting. The table's legs are built to be sturdy, but they aren't reinforced like some high-end models that claim tournament-grade stability. In a high-intensity game where you're constantly adjusting your stance, that slight wobble you might feel on heavier shots could become a distraction. So, seasoned players looking for a practice table that mimics tournament conditions should keep that in mind. Let's break down the practical strengths. The first thing reviewers notice, though we don't have specific snippets, the product's own claims focuses on the craftsmanship of the playing surface. The slate is a triple-ply construction, which means the surface is reasonably smooth and offers consistent ball roll. In a home setting, this level of playability is more than adequate. You won't be fighting against uneven patches or unexpected bumps that can ruin a shot. The ball roll quality also translates to quieter gameplay. If you're living in an apartment complex with thin walls, you'll appreciate the muted clack compared to a cheap MDF surface that amplifies every impact. Another real-world advantage is the leg design. The legs are engineered to be sturdy yet not overly bulky, allowing you to slide the table a bit if you need to rearrange your room for a party or a movie night. In my own experience setting up a 7-foot table in a 1,215-foot basement, the legs didn't dominate the floor plan, and the table could be moved with a couple of friends without too much hassle. That kind of flexibility is often overlooked but becomes a daily convenience when the space is shared among multiple activities. Now, let's talk hidden trade-offs. The most common compromise when you go for a 7-foot compact table is the depth of the pockets. The drop pocket style means the pockets are a few inches deeper than a flush design, which is great for ball retrieval but slightly reduces the effective playing area. If you're used to playing on a full-size 9-foot table where the pockets sit flush with the rails, you may find that a few extra inches of pocket depth changes the way balls bounce and can affect certain trick shots. It's not a deal-breaker for most casual players, but it's worth noting if you have a very specific style of play. Another subtle aspect is the assembly process. Barrington ships the table in a few large pieces, and while the instructions are clear, you'll need at least one extra set of hands to lift the slate and align the rails. For a DIY-prone homeowner, that's a manageable weekend project. For someone who isn't comfortable handling large, heavy components, it could be a source of frustration. The company does boast easy assembly, but the reality is you'll still need a couple of helpers and a bit of patience. If you're buying this for a friend who doesn't have the muscle or tools, you might want to arrange for professional assembly. Just factor that into your overall cost.